Welcome back, everyone, to the deep dive. Ready to get into it today. We are diving into the world of anabolic steroids,
Oh, yeah.
specifically Equipoise and Deca Durabolin.
Okay.
We've got some awesome material comparing these two.
All right.
We're going to break down everything
Yeah.
from their potential benefits and drawbacks to how they actually stack up against each other.
Cool.
And just a super quick reminder,
Yeah.
this whole deep dive is purely for informational purposes.
Right.
Super important to remember, using these substances without medical supervision.
Yeah.
It's illegal and can have some serious health implications.
Absolutely.
But if you are interested in more topics like this,
Yeah.
you can visit our website, publichealthlaw.net.
Okay, cool.
But for now,
Great.
let's get started.
All right. So what's interesting about Decadurabolin and Equipoise
Okay.
is they both belong to a class of synthetic steroids that mimic the effects of testosterone.
Interesting.
This means they can influence muscle growth, strength, and a whole bunch of other processes in the body.
I see.
Let's start with Decadurabolin,
All right.
also known as nandrolone.
Okay.
It's often hailed for its muscle-building capabilities.
Yeah, I've definitely heard of that.
And it's known to increase strength,
Uh-huh.
speed up recovery, and even ease joint pain.
Joint pain relief. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Is there a reason why it might have that effect?
Oh, there are a few potential mechanisms at play here.
Okay.
Decadurabolin is thought to stimulate collagen synthesis,
Right.
which is crucial for healthy joints.
Yeah.
It also might increase water retention in the joints,
Interesting.
acting as a sort of cushion
Uh-huh.
and reducing friction.
That makes sense.
And some research suggests it could have anti-inflammatory properties,
Okay.
which could further contribute to pain relief.
So it sounds like Deca could be appealing for anyone dealing with joint issues while training.
Yeah, for sure.
But we got to talk about the potential downsides, right?
Absolutely
There's
right.
always got to be a catch.
While Decadurabolin might offer some benefits,
Yeah.
it's crucial to understand the risks involved.
Of course.
One major concern is its impact on cardiovascular health.
Right.
It can lead to an increased risk of heart disease
Oh, wow.
and negatively affect cholesterol levels.
Okay.
There are also some potential cosmetic side effects,
Point.
like acne and hair loss.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I imagine, like many steroids,
Yeah.
it can mess with your natural hormone production.
You're right.
Decadurabolin can suppress the body's natural testosterone production,
Wow.
leading to hormonal imbalances, which can have a cascade of effects.
Oh, no.
And like with many substances,
Yeah.
there's a risk of liver damage, particularly with misuse.
So it's a bit of a trade-off,
Yeah.
potential gains, but with some serious risks to consider.
Exactly.
Now let's shift gears to Equipoise.
Okay.
I've heard it touted for its role in cutting cycles.
Yeah.
Could you break that down for us?
Yeah, so Equipoise,
Yeah.
chemically known as boldenone undesilanate.
Bold and undesilanate.
It's interesting because it promotes lean muscle growth
Okay.
while also increasing appetite.
Interesting.
Cutting cycles, for those unfamiliar, are periods when bodybuilders focus on reducing body fat
Okay.
while maintaining as much muscle mass as possible.
Makes sense.
So Equipoise's effects on muscle growth and appetite
Yeah.
could be seen as advantageous during these cycles.
So it's about achieving that lean, sculpted physique.
Exactly.
I got it.
But as with Decadurabolin, Equipoise comes with its own set of potential side effects.
I'm guessing we're looking at a similar profile, cardiovascular risks, hormonal disruptions, and things like that.
You're on the right track.
Okay.
We see potential issues like elevated blood pressure and cholesterol levels, as well as the risk of acne and hair loss.
Oh, man, not again.
And just like with Decadurabolin,
Yeah.
there's the potential for liver damage, though it's considered rare with Equipoise.
Okay. Well, that's good at least.
And, of course, we can't ignore the possibility of suppressed natural testosterone production.
Right, of course.
No.
So both of these substances have their pros and cons.
Definitely.
I imagine the choice really boils down to individual goals and risk tolerance.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It's all about weighing the potential benefits against the risks.
Right.
If someone's primary goal is maximizing muscle mass and strength,
Okay.
they might lean towards Decadurabolin, knowing the risks involved.
Sure.
Conversely, if someone prioritizes a leaner physique during a cutting phase,
Okay.
they might opt for Equipoise.
Yeah.
Again, being aware of the potential downsides.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
What I find particularly fascinating is that both substances are derived from testosterone,
Right.
but they have distinct effects and side effect profiles.
Yeah.
I'm curious, is that due to differences in their chemical structures?
Absolutely. Interesting.
While both are anabolic steroids,
Uh-huh.
their molecular structures differ slightly.
These subtle variations affect how they interact with receptors in the body,
Interesting.
influencing their potency, duration of action,
Okay,
and the specific side effects they might trigger.
that's incredible.
Yeah.
So even small tweaks at the molecular level
Yeah.
can have a significant impact on how these substances behave in the body.
Exactly.
It really highlights the complexity of these compounds.
It's a testament to the intricacies of biochemistry
Yeah,
and how subtle differences can translate to vastly different effects.
that's wild.
It's fascinating how these minute molecular differences
Yeah.
translate into practical applications for bodybuilders and athletes.
Right.
For example, Deca Durabolin's potential for water retention,
Uh,
while sometimes undesirable for aesthetics,
Yeah.
can actually be beneficial for those dealing with joint pain.
Right, like we were talking about earlier.
Exactly.
It's interesting how that works out.
Yeah, it's like a trade-off.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
It seems like understanding the nuances of these substances is key, not just in terms of benefits and risks, but also how they might be used strategically,
Yes,
depending on individual goals.
precisely.
Now,
Yeah.
we've talked a lot about individual effects,
Uh-huh.
but I'm curious about how these substances compare head to head.
Okay.
For instance, if someone is purely focused on maximizing strength,
Right.
which one might be more effective?
When it comes to sheer strength gains,
Yeah.
Deca often takes the lead.
Really?
It's believed to increase nitrogen retention in muscles,
Interesting.
promoting protein synthesis,
Yeah.
leading to faster strength gains.
So it's all about that nitrogen?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay, cool.
This is a key reason why it's popular among powerlifters and strength athletes.
So if you're looking to move some serious weight,
Yeah.
Deca might be the way to go.
Potentially, yeah.
Understanding the risks involved, of course.
Always.
But what about endurance?
Okay.
Say you're training for a marathon or a triathlon where stamina is key.
Right.
Which substance might offer an advantage there?
For endurance and stamina,
Yeah.
Equipoise might be a better fit.
Interesting.
One of its key potential benefits is its ability to increase red blood cell production,
Uh-huh.
which enhances oxygen flow throughout the body.
So better oxygenation.
Exactly.
I see.
This can translate to improved stamina and a greater ability to sustain intense physical activity
Makes sense.
for longer periods.
It's amazing how these substances,
Yeah.
despite both being anabolic steroids,
Right.
can have such distinct effects on performance.
It really highlights the importance of understanding the specific properties of each one
Totally agree.
before even considering using them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've touched on this briefly,
Okay.
but I want to circle back to the concept of stacking,
Right.
combining these two substances.
Got it.
Can you explain why someone might choose to do this
Sure.
and what the implications might be?
Stacking is a more advanced technique,
Oh.
often employed by experienced bodybuilders
Mm-hmm.
looking to maximize results.
Right, so they're already kind of...
They're already pretty experienced.
Yeah.
The rationale behind stacking Deca Durabolin and Equipoise is to leverage the benefits of both substances
Got it.
while potentially mitigating some of their individual downsides.
Okay, that's interesting.
So, for example, someone might use Deca Durabolin during a bulking phase
Uh-huh.
to capitalize on its potential for muscle and strength gains,
Makes sense.
and then transition to Equipoise during a cutting phase
Right.
to help maintain lean muscle while reducing body fat.
So it's all about strategic timing and cycling.
That's a great analogy.
Almost like a carefully orchestrated dance between these two substances.
Exactly.
Wow, that's cool.
It's about harnessing the potential synergies between them
Uh-huh.
while minimizing the risks.
But it's crucial to emphasize that stacking should only be considered
Yeah,
under the guidance of a medical professional
absolutely.
who understands the complexities of these substances.
It's not something to mess around with on your own.
Right, this is not something you want to be experimenting with on your own.
Yeah,
The risks are simply too high.
for sure.
And we can't stress enough the importance of seeking expert medical advice.
I completely agree.
Stacking,
Yeah,
especially without proper knowledge and supervision,
right.
can significantly increase the risk of side effects and complications.
It's crucial to prioritize safety
Yeah.
and make informed decisions based on sound medical guidance.
Now we've delved into the science and the potential applications of these substances,
Uh-huh.
but let's not shy away from the elephant in the room.
Okay.
The legal and ethical considerations surrounding their use.
That's a critical point.
Yeah,
The legal status of anabolic steroids varies widely around the world.
right.
In many countries, including the United States,
Yeah.
possessing or using these substances without a valid prescription is illegal.
So there's a lot to think about beyond just the potential physical effects.
Absolutely.
There are serious legal ramifications to consider, as well as the ethical implications of using these substances
Yeah.
in certain contexts,
Right.
particularly in sports where fair play is paramount.
It raises some tough questions
It does.
about fairness, integrity, and the spirit of competition.
Yeah, it's not a simple issue.
It's a topic that sparks heated debates
For sure.
and requires careful consideration
Absolutely.
from athletes, sporting organizations, and society as a whole.
It's a reminder that enhancing performance often comes with a price,
Yeah.
and that price extends beyond potential health risks
It does.
to include legal consequences and ethical dilemmas.
It's something we should all be mindful of.
Well said.
Thanks.
And speaking of understanding these nuances,
Okay.
I think it's a good time to bring up a point we mentioned earlier
Yeah.
about publichealthlaw.net.
Right?
This website is a fantastic resource for those who want to dig deeper
Mhm.
into the legal and ethical aspects of these substances.
It's definitely a valuable resource.
They offer a wealth of information on drug policy health regulations and related topics.
A lot of good information there.
Absolutely. Knowledge is power.
It is,
And in this case, it can help people make informed decisions
for sure.
about their health and well-being.
Absolutely.
But before we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with a thought-provoking question to ponder.
I'm intrigued. What's the question?
We've discussed how Deca, Durabolin, and Equipoise
Yeah.
have evolved from medical applications to
Uh-huh.
become intertwined with bodybuilding and athletics.
Uh-huh.
But their use extends beyond these realms.
It does.
They found their way into various subcultures and communities
Okay.
where physical enhancement is valued.
Right.
So the question is,
Sure.
how have these substances shaped societal perceptions of the body
That's a good one.
and the pursuit of physical perfection?
It's a complex question with no easy answers,
For sure.
but it's one worth reflecting on.
Yeah, that is a really interesting question.
It makes you think about how these substances, originally intended for medical purposes,
Yeah,
have become so woven into our cultural fabric,
it's true.
and how they've influenced our perceptions of what's considered desirable
Right.
or even attainable when it comes to physical appearance.
It's almost like they've blurred the lines
Yeah.
between what's natural and what's artificially enhanced,
Right.
making it harder to define what normal even means
Totally.
in terms of physique.
And with the rise of social media,
Oh, yeah.
where images of seemingly perfect bodies are constantly circulating,
Right.
it's easy to see how these substances could contribute to unrealistic beauty standards and body image issues.
Yeah, especially for younger generations.
Exactly.
It's a reminder that the quest for physical perfection
Yeah,
can be a double-edged sword.
it can be.
While striving for self-improvement is admirable,
Of course.
it's crucial to approach it with a healthy mindset
Definitely.
and avoid falling into the trap of comparing ourselves to unrealistic ideals.
Yeah.
Especially those fueled by substances
Right.
with potential risks and ethical implications.
I couldn't agree more.
It's about finding a balance
Yeah,
between pushing our limits and respecting our bodies.
absolutely.
Understanding that true well-being encompasses both physical and mental health.
For sure.
Well said.
Thanks.
As we wrap up this deep dive
Okay.
into Equipoise and Deca Durabolin,
Right.
I want to reiterate that the information we've shared is purely for educational purposes.
Yeah, it's important to remember that.
If you're interested in more topics like this,
Mm-hmm.
you can visit our website, publichealthlaw.net.
Lots of good info there.
We strongly advise against using these substances without medical supervision,
Of course.
and it's crucial to understand the legal ramifications
Yes.
and potential health risks involved.
Making informed decisions about our bodies and our health is paramount.
It really is.
Always consult with a healthcare professional
Yes.
before considering using any performance-enhancing substance.
That's great advice. Thanks. Thanks for joining us on this journey
Yeah.
into the complex world of anabolic steroids.
It's been a fascinating discussion.
It's a topic that raises important questions
Definitely.
about science ethics
Uh-huh.
and the pursuit of physical enhancement.
A lot to think about.
Until next time,
All right.
stay curious,
Yeah.
stay informed,
Stay safe.
and we'll see you on the next deep dive.